things like molecular descriptors on which the accuracy, I said from realistic way, always the models will differ, and this is based on the approximation. So these descriptors, when you are trying to deal with these models, how which particular molecular descriptors you are choosing, on this the quality, the accuracy of these models will be dependent on. And also there is one more factor, what is your experimental data. So this initially based on the experimental data you will come up with some model. So on these two factors the quality will be dependent on. So even if you haven't understood this statement, slowly you will be understanding, but right now just consider that something related to molecular descriptors, these things you need to first understand, then you will understand how it is dependent, the quality is dependent on this also, and the experimental data also. So I said QSAR is nothing but a modeling method. So you are having some set of equations. Now these set of equations are not very complicated. These are always some kind of some linear equations, or you can always say some kind of multiple linear equations, what you earlier used to learn in high schools. In those kind of equations you are going to deal with. But the idea here is you are going to relate the activity with the structure. So here on the left, this is one of the modeling equation, one of the simplest modeling equation you can consider, that log 1 by c, this means something. Suppose if I say this means some activity, okay, some biological activity if it means, and this biological activity is dependent on this something pi and sigma. Okay, so it is dependent on, suppose this is descriptor one of the descriptor, molecular descriptor, and this is descriptor number 1, this is descriptor number 2. So you can say your activity value, it is the function of what? Descriptor number 1 and descriptor number 2. Now, what are these descriptors? These basically you have obtained from the earlier whatever structure. Like if I draw a structure of benzene molecule, and benzene I'm using as one of my pharmaceutical drug molecule, so it will have some activity value in your body. So that activity can be related to, suppose now uh, people have diabetes and people take pharmaceutical drugs for treating the diabetes, so you can call it to be some kind of anti-diabetic activity. Okay, suppose if you have like people have like malaria and other things, so if they take some pharmaceutical drug molecules, so how much effect it is going to have, so it can be called as anti-malarial activity. So these activity values you can have in terms of some values, some numbers. Higher the value means maybe that is a good thing for your body, so it is having a good activity. Lower the number means it is having bad activity. Okay, so this activity value you need to determine. But what is this dependent on? This is dependent on your structure, and from the structure you can predict some molecular features. This will be called as descriptors. So this descriptor can be anything. This can be simply molecular weight. So maybe instead of D1, I can write down molecular weight is one of my descriptor. Then D2 is okay, some kind of uh, like hydrophobicity, how much hydrophobic that particular drug is. On these two things, I know that the activity value is dependent, right? In reality, anything if you take in the world, like any property or anything, like if I say suppose the happiness in your life, it is the function of certain thing. Like okay, maybe you can mention that okay, how much, what kind of quality of food I have, what kind of quality of sleep, exercise I do, and so many other things. Some people might say, okay, how much money I have. So all these factors, whatever you are thinking is leading to your happiness. So this is all dependent on these factors. So in the same way, whatever is the activity value, so it is dependent on, you can say, some molecular features, and this we will try to estimate. This is what we are going to call as molecular descriptors. Okay, so this I have already explained you in short, but there are details to this. So just this last slides I will show you today, and then next thing we can see. So see the definition it is written in a very complex manner. Just try to understand this. But if you first see this image, it is simple. A molecule you are having, this you have represented the structure on the computer, and using some software you are able to calculate some molecular descriptor. So in short, from molecule you are calculating some molecular descriptor. So definition, if you see, it is saying a final result of a logical and mathematical procedure which transform the chemical information encoded within a molecule into some useful number. So this is, you can call it a molecular descriptor. Now definition, even though it is written in a very complicated in a way, so you can just consider in simple words, molecular descriptors are nothing but some numerical values that is characterizing the properties of a molecule. Like for example, if I'm talking about molecular weight of a particular compound, based on that, you can say whether that is a small molecule or that is a bigger molecule, right? So this is based on molecular weight. Like you can consider molecular weight is one of your molecular descriptor. In the same way, there are so many different properties. So these properties we will try to understand tomorrow in the next class. And you can consider there are more than 3,300 molecular descriptors which has been mentioned in this particular handbook, which will be ultimately useful for our modeling purposes. So this I will slowly explain to you in the next class. Okay. Uh, if you have any question, you can ask me, or I wanted to give an assignment. I will talk about that. Any question is there first?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, there is an issue installing the Chimera software. It's detecting the ransomware.
Okay.
May I send the
Uh,
screenshot on the subject group?
uh, yes, I think if you have any personal issue, no, you can directly send me on my WhatsApp group. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Uh, but if you are a thing like it is a very general problem, so that you can put into the group. Okay,
Okay,
but
sir.
don't ask me the questions related to if like if I give any assignment and like you are trying to confirm the final answer of the assignment or something. These kind of things don't try to confirm. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Regarding installation, I feel sometimes no this installation thing. If one of your friend have already done the installation and other things, even I think you can take his help. There is no issue. But if still you are not able to solve, like you can ask me. I even don't know these different softwares know in different operating system or way it gives sometimes problems. So it is sometimes difficult to figure out. Look, just being here. If you are here in the college and suppose if I'm seeing your laptop, then it is easier. But I have seen this becomes difficult, but still we'll try. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Uh, any other question? Okay, I will just show you that. Okay, when I talked about the smile string, uh, okay, I hope you can see this slide. Smile string, you can see the slide, right? Right, you can see the slide of practice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I had in this particular slide, I think this is PPT number 5 or something.